And I just want to talk about, man, just like the comeback. And I feel like that's the best feeling. And I want to talk about when you're so fired up, when you're so amped on a comeback. I just really want to say, control your energy. Like today was one of the biggest days of my life. Today was one of the biggest comebacks of my life. I was so pumped. I was so excited. And I just thought, you know what? When you make a comeback, you got to think about that excitement, that burst of energy. You got to think about that passion. And you got to stop and think like, you got to control yourself because tomorrow's a new day. Like, just because you made the ultimate comeback, just because you made the ultimate buzzer beater, you got to stop and think like, what about tomorrow? You feel me? Even though there is no tomorrow, right now it's 129. So there is a tomorrow. Today is tomorrow. But with that being said, I just feel like you gotta literally, on this journey, you gotta learn how to control your passion. You gotta learn how to control your energy because when it's all said and done, a lot of people are not passionate about life. They're not. A lot of people lost the thrill. A lot of people feel bad about mistakes, and I feel like you should never feel bad about a mistake. If you had a kid and you wasn't serious with the mother of your child, you shouldn't feel bad about it. When it's all said and done, if anything, you tell the next generation what not to do and to treat a woman serious, but you don't feel bad about stuff like that. You know? When it's all said and done, somebody said, "What's up, Mr. Keep It Simple?" Out here working. Just out here working. And I just want to talk about, just making a comeback. I mean, it's the best feeling ever. You got to look at a comeback. It's like hitting a three from half court, not a regular three pointer. You hit a three from half court, like you hit a buzzer beater from half court. That's how you got to look at a comeback. Let me tell you guys something. I will say this year has been a rough start for me, but I just finally turned it around. And I'm gonna say this again. This year, I got off to a little rough start, but guess what? I just finally turned it around. And when I mean finally turn it around, I just finally turned it around like today. Today. You know what I mean? The year is not over, but I finally turned it around today. That's how you gotta look at life. When it's all said and done, it's never over. And I'm gonna say this again. It's never over unless you think it's over. You can't give up. And I'm gonna say this again, you cannot give up. You gotta stop and think about what happens if you win. And I'm gonna say this again, you gotta literally stop and think about what happens if you win. I think that's the only thing that you should be thinking about when you feel like your back is against the wall. That's the only thing you should be thinking about if you feel, listen, this is too much. This journey is scary. Oh man, it got me down. HR is against me. It's a 21st one. Everybody lying on me. I just feel like the only thing that you should really think about is what happens if you win. I feel like the thought of victory is what keeps us alive. The thought of victory, that's what keeps us dedicated. The thought of victory, that's what keeps us prayed up. I feel like victory is everything. And to everybody, if you hear voices second guessing yourself, ask yourself, what happens if I win? What happens if I could take care of my family? What happens if I could take care of my mother? What happens if I could retire my wife? What happens? What happens if my kid never have to work for other people? What happens if I win? And that's the attitude. That's the only attitude we should have as men. Like I said, salute to all the women. You know what I mean? As far as all the women, all that I can say is keep your head up. Don't get fed up. Keep your head up. And I'm going to say this again. To all my women out there, all that I can say is keep your head up. Don't get fed up. Things will get better. But until then, I like working with men because I feel like as men, we got to understand that our attitude equals our altitude. And when it's all said and done, any voices of doubt, any voices of what if I fail, man, forget failing. You're not meant to fail. And I'm going to say this again, you were never meant to fail. You were only meant for victory. You were meant to live a victorious life. Nobody wants to talk about being victorious. They just want to talk about how to obtain material things that you could lose due to unpaid taxes. Like, that's the world that people highlight. They highlight material things that people could lose due to unpaid taxes. Material things, screw material things. You got to look at material things like a napkin. Look at a penthouse like a napkin. Look at a Rolls Royce like a napkin. Look at a Maybach like a napkin. You feel me? Look at a Corvette like a napkin. Look at a Mopar like a napkin. If you can't get it like a napkin, when it's all said and done, no need for the captain. And I'm going to say this again. If you can't get material things like how you pick up a napkin, listen, there's no need for the captain. When you go to McDonald's and you pick up a napkin, you just take them. Same thing. Rolls Royces, man, put down at 30%, you take them. Old schools, get them fixed up, you take them. Houses, condos, you put down your percentage or you buy them cash, you take them. We don't put no thoughts in material things. Screw material things. And I'm going to say this again, screw material things. Screw luxurious things. If we can't get it with ease, it's interfering with the peace. And I'm going to say this again, if we can't get it with ease, it's literally interfering with our peace. What's the point of having a high car payment and you not recouping that coupe? And I'm going to say this again, what's the point of having a high car payment and you can't recoup the coupe? When it's all said and done, a lot of us, we could make a comeback, but we're literally, in bondage due to material things. High car payment, living in high areas that we can't afford. When it's all said and done, listen, take your time, map it out, trap it out, and always live life like, what if I didn't have a mother? What if I didn't have a father? What if I didn't have good friends that will help me out and give me a dime in a drop of a dime? And follow the wordplay. What would have happened if I didn't have good friends that helped me out and gave me a dime in a drop of a dime? Listen, I'm so blessed. I can't even tell you how blessed that I am. But even though I'm blessed, I always think about what happened if I did not have these people in my corner. And that's why I make this content. Even though funds come my way, even though emergency funds come my way, I always think about what happens if I didn't have these emergency funds. Could I end up just like the random guy at the Quick Trip? And I think the answer is yes. I think everybody is literally about 2 to 3 months away from being homeless. And I'm going to say this again. I think everybody is literally 2 to 3 months away from being homeless without steady cash flow for 3 months, 2 to 3 months on average. I think everybody will go homeless, and nobody wants to talk about job loss, but I've seen a lot of people on TikTok. I got fired today. I don't know if it's the algorithm because I'm talking about it, but a lot of people, they're getting fired. There's a lot of job loss. There's a lot of uncertainty going on in this world. Shout out to NSR Talks. He talked about that. And I just feel like when it's all said and done, you got to stop and think. What do you have that's an asset that they can't take away? And I feel like in this day and age, fitness is something that they can't take away, because nobody can say, oh, you're buff. You earn that. Nobody can say, oh, you're muscular. You earn that. Nobody can talk bad about a good physique. When it's all said and done, I feel like you got to think how to be unstoppable in cancel culture, because we do live in cancel culture. I've been experiencing cancel culture for 5+ years. I mean, I fought through it. I jabbed through it. You feel me? Moved through it. You feel me? Sidestepped it. But I have literally been experiencing cancel culture for 5.5 years. And I feel like it's now coming to an end, because now I'm getting into fitness. Now I'm about to start eating right. Now I'm about to start taking care of myself. What could a hater say if I'm looking like an action figure? When it's all said and done, I don't care what haters got to say. Haters, they got a common pattern. These are people without discipline. These are people that they can't stop their women eyes from scanning because they don't want to put in the work. So people get mad at people who put in the work. They get mad at people who go berserk. They get mad at people who put in the work. When it's all said and done, no. It's comeback season. You feel me? Stop. Don't follow the crowd. Don't follow the crowd. Take care of yourself. Stand out. It's going to be better if you stand out. And I'm going to say this again. It's going to be 10 times better if you stand out. You know what I mean? Like when it's all said and done, like having muscles is more than just a flex. It represents that I don't want to fit in. And when it's all said and done, I feel like you shouldn't have to fit in. You shouldn't have to play nice. You shouldn't have to go along to get along. For what? Why should you have to go along to get along and look like everybody else? Why should you have to go along to get along and do what everybody else is doing? Why? Why do we have to play nice? When it's all said and done, your manager probably not in shape. Your CEO probably not in shape. Politicians are not in shape. So why do we have to follow politicians and debate without muscles? Why do we got to debate without muscles? When you got muscles, there's no talking. It's only work. It's only action. There's no debating. Why do we got to follow the politician bill? Why do we got to follow, you feel me, the race hustlers bill? Why do we got to follow everybody else that's not eating healthy? Listen, you got to understand, money or not, if you don't take care of your physique, you can have money and it still shows signs that there's some area of life where you're depressed. You feel stressed about something. You feel lazy about something. Listen, when it's all said and done, screw laziness. Laziness is not your best friend. Laziness is not going to help you. A lot of you guys, you love what you love. And you know if you took care of yourself, take care of your health, you know that you can get what you love. But most people, they will just say, they will make 5,000 excuses before they do it. And I'm going to say this again. They will literally, listen, it's people that live 2 minutes from a gym that will never walk to the gym. It's people that live 10 minutes from a gym that will never drive to the gym, never ride a scooter to the gym. But then they look at other people that are fit. They see other people gaining. When it's all said and done, they see other people that are fit. They see other people maintaining, and they will never do it. You know why? Because it is 98% of people, they just want to fit in. And you got to ask yourself, do you want to be like the 98%, or do you want to come in with the 2%, get right with the 2%, and inspire more people to get out of that 98 to take care of themselves? I don't care what nobody says. So, man, when you looking good, come on, man. It's easier to salute the next man when you feel good about yourself. Or if you see the next man, he built up, you can salute him because you know what it takes. You feel me? When it's all said and done, I feel like you got to love yourself so much. That's the only way that you can love others. And I'm going to say this again before I finish this live. I feel like you should love yourself so much that that's the only way that you can love others, because you love yourself so much. Love yourself so much. Don't let anybody call you narcissistic because you love yourself. Don't let nobody call you selfish because you love yourself. You got to treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. And I'm going to say this again. You got to treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself. Clean up your apartment. Clean up your car. It's never too late. I don't care if you've been dirty your whole life. 2025, listen, you could be tidy all of a sudden. And I'm going to say this again, in the blink of an eye. I don't care if you've been filthy your whole life. You can clean up tonight. And I'm going to say this again. I don't care if you've been dirty your whole life. You could clean up in the year 2025. When it's all said and done, it's never too late to turn things around. It's never too late to make a comeback. It's never too late. Listen, what didn't happen should never be a thought. The thought should be, thank God I was blessed to make it out, and keep it moving forward. And I'm going to say this again. The thought should be, thank God I'm blessed to make it out, and keep moving forward. As far as shoulda, woulda, coulda, I don't really get into that. And I'm going to say this again. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, I don't get into that because it didn't happen. And if it didn't happen, when it's all said and done, guess what? It didn't happen. You feel me? I don't really dwell on the past too much. I try to stay out the past unless it's something that I can learn from, unless it's some advice that I could give. I stay out.